Hey, we just watched Small Body by Laura Samani. And hi, Laura. Welcome to the 29th edition of the Hamburg Film Festival. We are very happy to have you here. And congratulations for the film.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy too.
Well, you started your journey with the film in Cannes Film Festival in 2021. And now here you are with us in Hamburg. I wanted to start to ask you, how did you end up with this script, and how did you met with your co-writers, and how was this idea of the film came out?
I met the co-writers because we were attending the same school in Roma, in Italy, which is a Centro Sperimentale di Cinematografia. And we were attending the same year, but in different classes. So I was attending the direction class and they were attending the script writing class. And we became good friends. We started talking about, inner world and sharing what we were inhabited by. And so this is how we met. And this is the easiest part. We've been co-writing our degree short film for the school, which had some similarities, let's say, with Small Body. And because of that short film, I've been told by an old man in 2016 about these pilgrimages that used to take place in my own region, because it's inspired by real pilgrimages, the film. So this man has been seeing the film and the short film, and he was like, have you ever heard about these pilgrimages? And I haven't. So I started studying and digging into these documents, and then I got totally hooked by it. I was like really, it was like my brain was kidnapped from this story. And I started to study. And what I found out is that usually we're the men to take the journey to the sanctuaries. And in a way, I couldn't accept it. So, I mean, I started to ask myself, what about the mother? What about the woman who is doing, I don't know what, maybe waiting in bed and praying, and that's it. So I couldn't stand it. And I started to imagine what would happen if it was a woman to take the journey. So this is how it all began, basically.
And most probably there were women at that time as well, but as the story was written by men usually, so that they only mentioned men. That's what I felt.
For sure, but also because, as you saw, it was pretty dangerous to travel alone, especially on the mountains. I'm talking mostly about my region, which is Friuli Venezia Giulia. But at least you should have been accompanied by some men. Yeah.
Personal question: Are you superstitious?
Yes, I'm definitely superstitious. Yes, I'm Italian. But,
I am as well. So
okay. Yeah, I'm really scaramantic. I have a lot of secret and embarrassing rituals, small rituals. Embarrassing not because I'm doing crazy things, but because they work as far as you don't explain them to anyone. So I'm not going to explain them, but yes, I'm really superstitious. Yeah.
And what you had in the script and in the film, actually, what I look at, especially to the first 15 minutes of the film, we are seeing all the rituals of all religions, actually. What I read from there was a Catholicism, there was Judaism, there was Islam, there was everything. So, and there was pagans as well, of course. So I just wanted to ask you, how did you end up with all this superstitious part, religious, but at the same time, you are so goodly created a very powerful woman character with all these things that normally affects us even in the modern world.
Yeah. Again, it comes all the, let's say, religious, but also superstitious aspect comes from studies again, because usually what I like to do is reading a lot before shooting and also while I'm writing with the co-writers. But then I get rid of everything I learned and I start dreaming. So something remains and sticks to the brain, but you don't know why and how. So it's not like creating a ritual with in a really well organized way, let's say. Yeah.
But when I look at to the whole of the film, but I felt like having all these women from all perspectives, like breastfeeding, patriarchy, fighting against patriarchy, and at the same time, like there is danger in everywhere. Even eating a mushroom is dangerous. I mean, even in the food that they can find very difficultly, it's dangerous. So everything is dangerous for a woman, but still, although it's like the beginning of the century, so that she's struggling and she's getting out of this darkness.
Yeah.
So this power helped me a lot, I have to say.
Talking about the mushrooms, especially, it was in a way not dangerous scene to shoot, but they both have to eat a lot of mushrooms, which they were raw mushrooms, not poisoned one, not the ivy ones, but in any case, yes, it was not that nice for them. But yes, it's set life. Yes, we have a lot of different women and different dynamics between women in the film, but also with men, I would say, because you never know who you can really trust truly, deeply. And sometimes there is someone helping you, and then it's like a shapeshifter in a way, in both ways. So it can be like a good character and then it changes. But I think that mainly the reason why we mostly stick on women during the narration is because it was really divided, the society at the time. So women were hanging out with women, were working together with women, were sharing experience like in a whole group. And the same was for the men. So they were not mixing, they were not properly sharing things. Maybe in really small communities, when they, like with the fisherman situation, of course there were moments of community, but basically the activities were really pretty divided. So the people that are mostly interacting with Agatha are women.
Yeah. But on the other hand, although it's a periodical film, it's very contemporary as well. Of course, the situations are not the same, but mostly women are struggling with the same things in all over the world.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I felt. It's very contemporary on one hand.
Yeah, it is. I think that, I mean, I've been raised in a family which really allowed me to desire, to nourish my desire and to ask myself what I want to do, what I want to be, and so on. But it's something that I noticed while growing up, that we're not really, especially as women, we're not really well trained in accomplishing the desire. There is still like a really big structure that avoids us from desiring, from wishing. That's what I'm meaning. So for me, yes, of course, it's a period drama, but yeah, as you said, Agatha is really contemporary character because in a way, it all begins with a riot situation. So while refusing a rule, but this means that you know what you wish for.
Exactly.
You don't go on strike. You are not a riot because you didn't know what to do in your day life, because it brings with it this riot attitude. It brings with it a lot of strength. You have to be really determined. And of course, it's a metaphor all, not only, but it's also a metaphor all the traveling that she takes, all the obstacles that she has to succeed with. So yeah, you really have to be well determined and to be surrounded. But this is not only about women, it's about every human being. Maybe us as women, we have more hunger now.
And more courage, I think.
Yes, definitely. And we are not afraid of talking about it. And I think that the thing that I'm thinking in these days a lot is that we don't have to talk just behind, not behind, in between us. We have to include also men in this discussion because otherwise, again, it's like the barricades and it's nonsense.
But I just want to jump a little bit to the production process. So first of all, I'm very curious about how did you choose your actors, which I believe was very difficult because they're almost in every single scene. Especially Celeste Sesuti, I hope I pronounced her name correctly, as a first feature. She was amazing. She was brilliant. So I'm very curious about how did you do your casting?
Celeste came to an open casting back in 2017 because I wanted to shoot a promo, like a teaser, to train me, to train the crew, to also to have something to show to the potential funders, to the potential collaborators, you know, because we were still financing at the time the film. And she came to this open casting without knowing which was the plot, what was the situation, which role we were casting for. Because I didn't want people to feel, you know, shy about showing up to the casting. So it was like, we're looking for young girls between, I don't remember, like 18 to 25. And she was 19 at the time. And while writing, I had a totally different idea about Agatha. I was looking for someone, not looking for someone, but like I was really convinced that Agatha should have been fragile and anxious and I don't know how to translate it in English, but it's impetuosa. It's like a storm, you know, with waves, wind, like. And Celeste is nothing but that. She's really, she's quiet. She's very shy. She has a lot of dignity. And she's really strong, well determined. So when she showed up to the casting, I was like, I'm totally mesmerized by this person, but she's not the type I'm looking for. Then we shot the promo together and we both knew that she was the one. So she brought a lot of herself into the character, really a lot.
She also added a lot to the script as well.
Yes, in a way, but the way I worked with all the actors, yes, she put some influence into the script, but in a way, we were not sticking properly to the script, meaning that the very first 2 months of work together, of rehearsing, we didn't work on the script. We were mostly improvising, walking together in the woods, talking about our personal fears, because in a way you have to connect with the character. So, but not in a mechanical way, in an emotional way, because otherwise it's pointless. Otherwise you're like executing something. And I really like the idea of egoistically bringing home something for yourself. Like no matter what is your role on the set, on the film, on the post-production, whatever, I told them, like I told every extras in the film, because no one was a professional. We had just 2 people. One was Lynch and the other one was a man in the mine. So for all the others, I told them, you have egoistically to bring home something from this experience. Emotionally speaking, like life experiences speaking, because otherwise it's like a job. And what's the point in that? So.
And it worked perfectly.
Yeah, thank you.
What you did with the actors. Laura, thank you very much for the small body and for this nice chat.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Thank you.